Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com. In this video, we're looking at a watch from Hamilton with the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical Black Dial on a bracelet. So if you're new to this channel, this is a channel where we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as a full authorized dealer. So in this video, deep dive on this timepiece, final points of consideration at the end. But throughout this video, if you have further questions, check out the link in the description of the product page where you can learn more, purchase the watch, and book a time with one of our dedicated watch specialists as well. But guys, let's jump into the video, take a closer look at this watch. With its focused military-inspired models that offer authentic vintage reinterpretations, high-quality Swiss-made movements, and very competitive prices, the Hamilton Khaki Field collection is among the very best in Swiss watchmaking. Before relocating to Switzerland, Hamilton provided an important service to the US military during World War II as they stopped production of all their commercial products to develop watches for the United States military, which included over 1 million field watches for military personnel between the years of 1942 and 1945, and then continuing to carry out that design for the next couple of decades. Today we're going to look at one of their most popular and important modern reinterpretations that dates back to this era with the Khaki Field Mechanical 38. Taking a look at the Khaki Field Mechanical on the wrist here, so this one comes in with measurements of 38 millimeters in diameter, a lug-to-lug distance just shy of 47 millimeters, and has a height of just over 9.1 millimeters. Overall, this watch wears slightly larger than that of a 38 millimeter case. That's going to mostly be contributed to the longer lug-to-lug length for its size. So I would say it wears closer to that of a 39 when factoring all of these dimensions in. A bead blasted finish occupies every visible surface of the case. Edges are sharp and transitions between the surfaces are rather crisp and well-defined, despite the blasted finish being utilized here. It also features utilitarian touches such as the drilled lugs, which are really in alignment with this field watch approach. At the typical 3 o'clock location, we have an oversized and signed push-pull crown to operate the movement. As the H50 caliber is a manual winding movement, turning the crown in the first position will wind the movement within, and adjusting the time is done in the only other position, which will also feature the inclusion of hacking seconds for precision setting. Along with the screw-down case back, the crown provides water-resistant capabilities of 50 meters, which is not quite suitable for serious water activity, so this is one point of just consideration if you are looking to really push your field watch to the brink of what it's capable of. That said, it should do a pretty good job when it comes to just general water resistance. But the main point of difference between some of the other variants of the Khaki Field Mechanical that we've covered on this channel and this one is the matte finish 3-link bracelet installed between the 20 millimeter lugs. For the money, this is a decent bracelet and has some very welcome features, starting with the curved link design and staggered position of the outer links in relation to the center links. The center links are actually 2 separate pieces in close proximity, so technically you could call this a 4-link bracelet. Fortunately, there has been a focus on wearability as each link is relatively compact and spaced apart from each other, enough to easily drape over the wrist without much issue. There are quite a few sizing links secured together with split pins, which is on par with most bracelets found in this price range. The bracelet is finished off with a stamped security clasp, which has 3 points of micro adjustment inside, as well as a hidden clasp, almost a diving clasp here, with another 20 millimeters of space if needed. Typically, we see these types of extension on dive models, which this piece is not, and while this might be a bit of overkill in this application, it still is a welcome component. The clasp is probably, though, the area where this bracelet is going to lag behind the most. It is stamped, not to say that there aren't good stamped clasps out there. I think this is probably one that qualifies for that, but one point I will mention with it is the fold over lock, which is well constructed, but it is a bit difficult to get your finger underneath it depending on how long your fingernails are, for example. Getting a good grip can be difficult at times. That said, it's sometimes difficult to find a third-party option for a bracelet that's going to pair well with the Khaki Field Mechanical. I think this is just a nice addition to add to maybe your bracelet or strap lineup. It might be a good one to go for if you're someone that really leans into more of steel metal bracelets rather than going for a strap option. Transitioning over to the dial, we have the slightly convex sapphire crystal providing both protection and clear view of the matte black dial within. This is a commonly used field watch dial design. However, it's important to note that Hamilton is the company that really popularized it, not just for their current collection of contemporary reissues, but with their original military issued timepieces dating back to the Second World War. And this is a clear and faithful execution of those wartime models. The dial color is traditional matte black, giving the khaki field an excellent background for the contrasting pillowy white print found across the entire dial. Along the perimeter of the dial, we have a well-defined minute track featuring triangular faux patina superluminova plots, achieving an aged appearance. Matching superluminova is found inside the white syringe-style hour and minute hands, as well as the triangular tip of the sweeping second hand, adding to the vintage aesthetic in the process. The lume is okay in good light, but this is certainly not going to be its strongest attribute. It glows green and consistent across the dial when charged up, and should do the job, but falls again behind some of the counterparts in the price category. Pillowy Arabic numerals denote the hours, and a smaller 24-hour scale printed just inside those large hour markers keeps the important military context at the forefront of the design. Dial text is minimal here also, being limited to just the Hamilton logo occupying the top half of the dial and the space between the hour scale and the handset. The dial is simple yet focused in its design, emphasizing legibility, which Hamilton does an excellent job at executing. Turning the watch over to reveal the solid screw-down case back with a simply embossed Hamilton logo at the center and space for custom engraving along the outside. Given the original hand-winding movements of the early military field watches, it seems like an obvious choice to utilize Hamilton's preferential access to ETA's rework calibers for this execution and power the Hamilton khaki field as the H50 movement, based on the excellent ETA 28012 with heavy modifications to achieve an 80-hour power reserve. In doing so, Hamilton has reworked the gear train and mainspring while also slowing the beat rate of the balance assembly down from 4 Hz or 28,800 vibrations per hour to 3 Hz, 21,600 vibrations per hour. Of course, the features of the movement are straightforward. You have the obvious hand-winding capabilities as well as the hacking second, a very useful function that plays an important role in allowing military personnel to sync their watches to accurately time their missions and operations. There's also an updated balance assembly moving away from the classic regulating pins for a more advanced free-sprung system that helps maintain accuracy and precision, particularly when it comes to shock resistance. That does come with the downsides, though, of not being able to go ahead and regulate this yourself if you are someone that wants to do that down the road. But in terms of general accuracy, these are typically pretty good, running in the single digits when testing the hundreds of these that we see coming through. This one that we tested across 5 different positions, just this particular model here, just give some anecdotal evidence, was 7 seconds off from perfect time of day. So just to unpack, 21,600 vibrations per hour, 3 Hz, does feature hacking and hand winding, and has a power reserve of 80 hours. So now to unpack, looking at the Hamilton khaki field mechanical 38 black dial on a bracelet. So we've covered many of these different models on the channel. This is the first one that we've looked at on the bracelet specifically, and a lot of the same just types of ideas are going to resurface here. I am a huge fan of the Hamilton khaki field mechanical. If you want to just dumb things down to the simplest form, if you're looking for that first Swiss watch in your collection, you want versatility, you want something that's going to have history on its side, this is just a no-brainer. Now, in terms of which one to go for within the Hamilton khaki collection, there are many to choose from. The khaki field mechanical is going to lean into more of the heritage side of things and being more of a reissue there. A couple things that come up when looking at this model might be some points of consideration on more the negative end. 50 meters of water resistance just simply might not be enough for people. The lume is a little bit behind, but I think across the board, you really can't dismiss this watch. It's just bringing a lot of value. The bracelet is a welcome inclusion, and I think it's good to have. I believe that there's not that many great third-party bracelets that are going to work with just the longer lug profile of this design, but this one works really well in tandem to bring the design together. And simply put, I think this, just like many of the other Hamilton khaki field models, if you want something that leans more into heritage rather than contemporary design, but you love this field watch style, this is a no-brainer for around $500 to $600. All right, guys, well, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That really does help out the channel. Really would appreciate that as well. But also, if you're in the market for this watch, it is available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. TeddyBaldassarre.com is a full authorized dealer of all the brands that we carry. Quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support. Also offer a full factory warranty for all the products that we offer to give you a lot of peace of mind. In addition, we also offer price matching. So if you see one of our watches for cheaper at another authorized dealer, just fill out the form and we'll get in touch with you. And finally, all this content that we create here helps fund our future productions here on this channel, as well as on our main channel, trying to foster up a new generation of watch enthusiasts in the process. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.